Welcome everybody to Mind Your Own Business. I am so excited to be with you. I'm Dr. Erin, your high performance business coach and the success psychologist. And this is the place where we talk about all things related to minding your mind and all the high performance success habits and behaviors that we all can be doing to grow our Euphoria businesses and help us be the very best that we can be and to be leaders and to have the success that we desire in our Euphoria businesses. So today we're talking about my favorite thing on the planet, which is mindset. And I'm going to teach you my 4-step mindset process, the technology that I, as a psychologist, knows can absolutely help you deal with any negative thought you will ever have your whole entire life. That is the power of this technology. I believe in that promise. And it is a technology that is different than you might be hearing about from traditional personal development books or mindset coaching that maybe you've had in the past, and maybe you've felt kind of stuck of, why do these thoughts keep happening? Why do they come? Why are we having a 15-year run with this thought? And why won't it go away? And I really struggled with that. I struggled for many, many years of just having the same limiting thoughts that would pop up. And it's one thing to recognize them. It's like, oh, I see you. I know you're there, but I want you to go away. And I didn't really know how to effectively make it go away. So I believe, and I know that so many of you believe, that Euphoria as a business really is a personal development business with the product being customized nutrition. I really believe that. The number one reason why people will quit this business is belief in themselves and lack of belief in themselves and lack of confidence and those things. The number one gift I believe this business can afford people is the opposite, right? Is growing yourself personally. And when you do, your sales will explode, your influence will explode. So I am so glad to see you all on this call. So I want you to write down, maybe get a piece of paper or in your mind's eye, I want you just to think about what's one of the challenging, limiting, negative beliefs that you might struggle with in your life related to your business, related to your success, related to money. Whatever is still there, we all have them. And guess what? The bad news is that they are never going to fully go away, meaning every new level comes with a new devil. Every new level can very easily pull up and bring about new thoughts. And those negative thoughts that are surrounding your desires and your goals are what I call the resistance. And I want to explain to you what our brain's job is to do first and foremost before I give you this technology to really punch fear in the face, grow your confidence, grow your courage, and handle once and for all this thing up here between your ears, which can be your best business partner, but it also can be the most dangerous neighborhood that you will hang out in, right? So I want us to really learn how to train our brain and create actual brain change. So let's roll back for a second. We have a very primitive brain, even though we have completely advanced in technology, okay? Our brains have not caught up to the world that we're living in, and we have a brain whose job is, first and foremost, in all things, its job is to keep you safe. Its job is to keep the world predictable. Its job is to keep you from failing. Its job is to keep you from looking like a fool. Its job is to keep you from, once again, not reaching your goals and feeling like a failure. Your job is to keep you from embarrassing yourself. Your job is to do all those things. So in the bushes, when we were, primal primates, right, and cave people, our brain's job was to keep us safe. And it was to hear those little rustles in the bushes and to say, is that a bunny or is that a saber-toothed tiger? We don't have those anymore, but our brain is still doing what brains do. And brains' jobs are to keep us safe. Another thing that our brain does by default, it rank orders and compares things all the time. And you can see how this would be very dangerous, especially in network marketing. If we have a brain that is loaded, locked and loaded wired to compare all the time, because we know in this profession especially, you cannot compare yourself to someone else's journey. You can't compare their skill set. You can't compare, like, all things are not equal in this journey, but if that's what brains do, we got to be on the lookout for that. So you've written down your kind of negative, your number one or most frequently offensive thought. It's uninvited, it's unwelcome, it's annoying, it's problematic. It may be, I fear I'll never be successful. It may be, I fear I can't handle the success if I become successful, whatever it is for you. So this is the 4-step process I want to teach you today, that when you practice this over and over in your life, you will change the neurons in your brain. This will become the default. Your suffering will go down, and you will become the manager of your mind. Your mind will not manage you. You will manage your mind. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Okay, so I call this process bless and release. 4 steps. The first 2 steps are the 2 steps that are missing in traditional mindset work. So the first step is, I want you to validate and understand why it makes perfect sense you're having that thought. So I want you to write down, first step, why does it make perfect sense I'm having this thought? This is how you're going to walk into validating versus judging this negative thought. And I'll give you an example of it. But I want to tell you something that we know in psychology. The concept of what you resist persists looks like this in terms of your thought. Whatever you believe you can't have, whatever you tell your brain, no, I don't want to think that, or stop it, go away, or why are you coming around again, or oh my God, I can't handle you, or oh, it's getting worse. Whenever we do that, resistance, which is again really human of us, but when we do that, it actually feeds the monster, it feeds the beast. So we are going to live in opposite land, and we're going to allow in all of our thoughts. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to say, oh, that makes perfect sense. And you're going to insert your thought. Well, it makes perfect sense. I'm freaked out about having millions of dollars because, and maybe you'll find your answer. Maybe you'll realize, oh, where did I learn that? Because our brain is just accruing all the data we've ever experienced in our life, conscious and unconscious, that's saying, oh yeah, my parents used to always argue about money. So my brain has attached meaning to that of, if I get insanely rich, I'm going to have problems in my relationships. So the brain's job is to protect us. It's like, I know a way to protect us. We're going to like block money from coming in, right? That's an example of how that might look. Or, oh, I'm super scared to present in front of my team and I know I'm going to have to. Oh, why does that make perfect sense? I'm scared to present. Oh, because my sister, my whole life told me I was terrible at telling stories. True story. Now I'm a professional speaker, right? So I had to train my brain to tell myself a different story about how I do at speaking. Okay. So your first step is to validate. Oh my gosh, that makes perfect sense that I'm terrified of never reaching the top because I never have. And I'm scared of falling on my face again. And I'm scared of dreaming once again and not reaching it. Oh, how human of me. I just want you to like burn that phrase on your brain. Oh, how human of me. Of course I'm having this thought. So it's very opposite of what you might think. And I want you to trust that you can handle looking at that negative thought and inviting it in. There is this modern cognitive behavioral therapy is actually based a lot on Buddhism. And in Buddhism, the number one step, the first step to remove fear is to agree with it. Just like soak that in. Is that not the most amazing concept? The first step to remove suffering is to agree with it. It's like, yeah, I see you. Okay, makes perfect sense. So if you have struggles with that, we can run these by each other. Like why you might be stuck in your stuff and not be able to see, like, why does that make perfect sense? That makes no sense at all. Why would I fear success? I want money. Why would I fear having money? That makes no perfect sense. There's a reason behind it, okay? So the first step is to make perfect sense of it. The second step is to thank your brain for protecting you. It's to thank your brain. Sounds so cheesy, but I want you to thank your brain for showing up in whatever way that it just did to try to protect you. Thank you, brain, for trying to protect me from looking like a fool. Thank you, brain, for trying to protect me from embarrassing myself if I want to go and be a speaker because your whole life you were told you were a bad speaker. Thank you for protecting me against decimating my family if that's what I think success will mean to me. Like if I think I'm going to lose all of my abilities to manage all the things that I care about if I become massively successful. My brain is doing a really bang up job of protecting me. So I want you to become friends with your brain. It's trying to protect you and it's doing an awesome job. Unfortunately, it's getting in your way and we've got to reckon with it if we want to create new change in your life, right? But it's doing a great job. It's what brains do. So it's just doing what brains do. Okay, the third step. So makes perfect sense you're showing up. Thank you for trying to protect me. The third step is telling your brain what is the new rule or set of circumstances or reason why things are different now, though. This is the good news. It's starting to talk back to your brain and saying, I know you're scared to be a speaker. Your sister told you you were terrible at speaking your whole life, but you just hired the best speaking coach in the world, and people think you're a great speaker. So it's time to go speak. See that example? Or you've never succeeded in network marketing before. So thank you, brain, for trying to protect me from another failure. And I'm different now. I have a different set of skills. I have the ability to figure things out. I am surrounded by people that will help me. I have the ability to get good at things. So here I go. I am capable of change. I am capable of possibilities. Whatever you need to tell yourself is the new situation. Okay? So the third step is, what's the new rule? What's the good news about how things are different now or possible now? So you're getting curious about how things are going to be different. And then the fourth step is called the power of the pivot. And this is so wonderful because what you're going to do is you're going to decide and pivot and create a new behavior. And so you're going to say, so now I'm going to go speak. Or so now I'm going to go build my business one step at a time. Or so now I'm going to keep learning from Eric Worre on the trainings. Or so now I'm going to go call and practice my new skills and fumble forward all the way to the top. Or so you've said, and now I'm this person that does this, and so now I'm going to do this. So it's the power of the pivot. That, my friends, is how you can reckon with and wrestle and reason with your brain and talk back to your brain instead of your brain telling you what to do. You're going to tell your brain what you're going to do. It's very empowering, but those first two steps are usually what's missing. It's usually, let's just think positive, or that's ridiculous. Of course I want success. Again, whatever we resist persists. So you allowing those thoughts in, imagine them sitting next to you and just being like, okay, I hear you. Like, wow, like you're really annoying today, or you just never shut up, or you again, like at this meeting, or of course you're showing up here. You always show up when I'm up to something new and interesting and exciting and scary. Of course you're showing up. It's kind of like having a backseat driver in your backseat. And if you listened to them as you're driving and did what they told you to, you would never get to your destination. But if you say, like, I hear you, but I'm not doing what you say, but I hear you. All right, you're speaking up again. All right, that's annoying, but I'm going to keep driving. That's the relationship I want you to think about having with these negative thoughts. And when you do, over time, they will quiet down and they will be less frequent. And so the good news is they will go away more. They will go away. But every new level in your life is going to invite in the resistance, because why? That's the way brains work. So be prepared for it. Even wonderful levels of success or wonderful accolades or whatever it is will bring in new resistance. It might look like, oh God, how can I keep this? Or, oh God, this is going to go away. Or I don't know how I can sustain this. Or I'm sure it was a fluke. Or I'm like, whatever it is, you can say, okay, that makes perfect sense. You're showing up. Thank you for showing up and keeping me safe. This is what's the new situation. And this is what I'm going to do to powerfully pivot. So that's your 4 steps to minding your mind, to training your brain to create unstoppable strength, inner strength, resilience, fortitude, success, I hope that blesses you. I cannot wait to hear how you're using it and how it shows up in your Euphoria business. And let us all help each other fight the resistance, because it can be hard when we're in it. So let's help each other fight the resistance so that we can be, do, and have all that we desire and deserve to experience. So thank you for joining this session of Mind Your Own Business. I will see you next time. Blessings, my fellow Euphorians.